When I reflect on what brought me to where I am today, one thing stands out. Success doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps. Early in my journey, I failed many times. I remember failing university exams and being rejected by multiple companies, even KFC. But those failures didn't stop me. The key was to never give up. I used to tell myself, if not now, when? If not me, who? The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck lies in their willingness to keep going, even when everything seems against them. I've always believed that each small step is important. You don't need a radical overnight change. What truly matters is getting a little better each day. Think of it like planting a tree. You won't see growth immediately, but over time, these small daily improvements add up and create something incredible. When Alibaba first started, we were just 18 people in a small apartment. We didn't have money, technology, or connections, but we knew that through hard work and consistency, we could build something great. Success comes when you keep moving forward, even if it's slowly. Have you ever wondered why some people always seem to advance while others remain stuck? The truth is, there's never a perfect moment to begin. Those who wait for the ideal time usually end up falling behind. Success is reserved for those who take action, even when the conditions aren't perfect. If you want to reach your goals, you need to start now and believe that every step, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to your dreams. The key difference between success and stagnation is having a growth mindset. I've failed so many times in my life that it would have been easy to give up and say, this isn't for me. But I didn't do that. I knew that every failure was an opportunity to learn something new. I've always believed that as long as you're willing to learn and evolve, failure is never the end. It's just the beginning of something greater. When you understand that, you realize that failure is simply a stepping stone to success. The journey to success isn't quick, and it's not always easy. But each step you take, no matter how small, makes an impact. Looking back, I can see that true transformation came from consistency. Small acts of improvement, day after day, eventually lead to great achievements. The question you should ask yourself is, am I willing to take those small steps every day? Because in the end, that's what really makes the difference. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned throughout my journey is the importance of having an open, growing mindset. When I started Alibaba, I wasn't the smartest or the most experienced. But what set me apart was the belief that I could always learn and adapt. I failed many times and could have easily quit, but each rejection taught me something new. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit. Change yourself, I always say. True transformation happens inside you, not in the world around you. Adopting a growth mindset means embracing challenges instead of avoiding them. Many people are afraid to fail, but I've learned that failure is the best teacher you can have. I failed university exams, got rejected from jobs, and even investors laughed at my idea of an e-commerce platform. But each of those moments taught me lessons that no book could. Believe me, as long as you keep learning, failure stops being an obstacle and becomes a crucial step on the path to success. I often tell young people, the secret isn't in the knowledge you already have, but in your ability to keep learning. When I look to the future, I see that 50% of today's jobs will disappear in the next 20 years. And do you know who will be prepared for that? Those with a growth mindset, those who know how to adapt their skills to new realities. It's not about how much you know today, but about how willing you are to learn tomorrow. Throughout my career, I've seen the power of a growth mindset in action. When we first started Alibaba, nobody believed we could succeed. In fact, many ridiculed us, but I knew the world was changing, and that if we learned from our mistakes and kept growing, we'd be able to create something innovative A growth mindset transforms challenges into opportunities and uncertainties into possibilities. So, if you want to achieve great things, you need to adopt this mindset. Embrace the unknown, accept challenges, and learn from them. The more you grow internally, the more prepared you are to face the world. Don't wait for the perfect moment or the ideal conditions. The time to act is now. And the first action you should take is to believe you can continue learning and growing no matter what you've already achieved. People often underestimate the power of positive thinking. They let themselves get carried away by the chaos of the day, the tasks and problems, without realizing that the way you feel can completely transform your productivity. These affirmations have become an internal force, an energy that guides you when the going gets tough. If you start the day saying that something is impossible, then it really is. We shouldn't focus on the problems. We should focus on the solutions. This change in mentality, driven by these simple daily affirmations, will give you the strength to carry on. Positive thinking is a matter of repetition and consistency. Just as you need discipline to achieve your goals, you need discipline to talk to yourself positively every day. Think of affirmations as training for the mind. Every time you remind yourself of what you're capable of, you're strengthening your brain to deal with any challenge that comes along. So tell yourself that you are capable, that you can learn, grow, and overcome any difficulty. This simple practice can be the first step towards transforming your mindset and, as a result, transforming your life. In the end, what really matters is what you believe about yourself. And your daily affirmations can reprogram your mind to believe the best. I've always believed that your environment plays a crucial role in your growth. When we were building Alibaba, we didn't have much except for our vision and a small group of people who believed in the future of the internet. But above all, we surrounded ourselves with positivity. It wasn't easy. Many didn't believe in our idea. But I learned that if you want to grow and succeed, you need to be surrounded by people and energy that inspire and uplift you. It's impossible to thrive in a toxic environment. When you spend time with people who constantly complain and see problems in everything, your progress gets sabotaged. I always say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. This applies to your social circle too. If you want to be positive, productive, and achieve great things, you need to be around people who share that same energy. In the beginning, many of my friends thought I was crazy for investing in an e-commerce project in China, but I chose to focus on those who supported me and believed in the vision. The influence of your environment goes beyond people. It's also in the books you read, the movies you watch, the content you consume. If you surround yourself with negativity, it's hard to maintain a mindset that pushes you forward. That's why it's so important to filter the type of information and stimuli you allow into your life. Personally, I enjoy reading biographies of entrepreneurs and visionaries who've overcome great challenges. It inspires me and gives me the certainty that any obstacle can be overcome. One of the biggest lessons I've learned throughout my journey is that to achieve success, it's essential to create a bubble of positivity around you. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but choosing where to focus your energy. During Alibaba's toughest moments, when everything seemed lost, I surrounded myself with people who brought solutions, not more problems. People who reminded me of our potential and what we could build. That mindset made all the difference. So, make a conscious choice about who you spend your time with and the kind of content you consume. If you want to grow and reach your goals, make sure you're surrounded by sources of positivity, inspiration, and motivation. The energy around you is contagious, and you have the power to shape it to work in your favor. This could be the turning point you need to transform your life and maximize your productivity. The first few hours of your day set the pace for everything that follows. If you start the day disorganized, without a clear purpose, your productivity plummets. When I started Alibaba, I soon realized that I needed a solid morning routine to maximize my energy and focus. In fact, many of the great entrepreneurs I've met over the years have one habit in common. They start the day with clarity of purpose. It's not just about waking up early, but how you use the first few hours to prepare your mind and body for a productive day. Instead of rushing straight to work, take some time to think about your goals. Think about what you really want to achieve and how you can use the day to get closer to those dreams. Instead of being carried away by external demands, you start the day with control and purpose. If you have a dream, you'll never feel poor. The dream gives meaning to your day. In addition to reflection, physical exercise is a good recommendation. It increases focus and mood, and I can assure you that this is true. An active body feeds an active mind, ready to face any challenge. It's also important to clearly define your goals for the day. Often, people start the day without knowing what they really need to do. At the beginning of Alibaba, I used to do this every day to ensure that we were making progress, even with limited resources. Remember that success doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps. Finally, surround yourself with positive energy first thing in the morning. I like to read something inspiring, whether it's a book or a biography of someone I admire. It helps me start the day in the right frame of mind, motivated and full of energy. The way you spend your first few hours is one of the biggest influences on how the rest of your day will go. Adopt a morning routine that works in your favor, that energizes you and sets you up for success. Throughout my career, one of the most valuable lessons I've learned is the importance of setting clear, daily goals. When we started Alibaba, we had no money or infrastructure, but one thing I always made a point of maintaining was clarity about what we needed to achieve each day. Setting daily goals is like drawing a map. Without a clear destination, you get lost along the way. Small daily victories are the key to great achievements. Every day, I set myself 3 to 5 specific goals that I need to achieve. This helps me stay focused without getting distracted by what isn't important. When you set clear goals, you know exactly where you're going and what you need to do to get there. Success is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. Daily goals are the steps you take in this marathon. Daily. When you achieve a goal, however small, it boosts your confidence. You feel like you're making progress. And that feeling of progress is what keeps your motivation up. In the early days of Alibaba, the goals were often small, like getting a new contact. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. And part of that change is creating a daily structure that propels you forward. In addition, daily goals help you avoid procrastination. When you wake up knowing exactly what you need to do, there's no room for wasting time on distractions. People often ask me how I manage to deal with so many challenges and build a company like Alibaba. The answer lies in the daily discipline of setting goals and sticking to them. When you have clarity, things flow, and you maintain consistency, which is the true secret of productivity. So my tip is simple. Start the day by setting your goals. It doesn't matter how small or big they are. The important thing is that they are clear and achievable. Every day that you achieve a goal, you get closer to your ultimate goal. Self-discipline is the foundation of all success. I wasn't the smartest student, nor was I the most qualified to lead a company like Alibaba. However, what always helped me continue, even when everything seemed impossible, was my self-discipline. It's the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Many believe that millionaires have some special secret, but the real secret is self-discipline. Without it, none of what you dream of can become a reality. When I think of self-discipline, I think of small daily choices. The journey to success isn't defined by big moments of inspiration, but by consistent actions, day after day. I always strive to accomplish my goals, even when I'm tired or unmotivated. In the early days of Alibaba, when we faced rejection after rejection, the only thing that kept me going was the discipline to keep working. As I often say, if not now, when? If not me, who? Self-discipline is what separates those who keep going from those who quit. Staying focused isn't easy, especially in a world full of distractions. But if you truly want to achieve your goals, you need to learn to say no to everything that doesn't lead you in the right direction. Often, that means giving up comforts or momentary pleasures to achieve something greater in the future. I remember how, in the beginning, I would spend days and nights studying business models and looking for investors, while my friends were out having fun. That discipline made the difference in the long run. Consistency is self-discipline's sister. It's no good being disciplined for just one day or 1 week. You need to maintain that focus every day. Millionaires don't achieve success overnight. They work consistently for years. It took me nearly 2 decades to make Alibaba what it is today. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect every day, but about continuing to try, even when things don't go as planned. So if you're looking for the key to success, start with self-discipline. Set small daily goals, stay focused on what truly matters, and don't let yourself be distracted. It's not easy, but it's simple. If you want to achieve what few do, you must be willing to do what few are willing to do. And it all begins with your ability to stay disciplined. Managing time effectively is one of the greatest skills you can develop, and it's something that shaped who I am today. When we started Alibaba, I quickly realized that time is the most valuable resource we have. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't know how to use your time wisely, you'll end up losing valuable opportunities. I always say that success doesn't come just from working hard, but from working on the right things. And the key to that lies in how you organize your time. People often ask me how I manage to balance so many responsibilities. The truth is, I don't do everything. I'm very strict about prioritizing what truly matters. I always take time to reflect on my priorities and delegate what's not essential. This allows me to focus on the activities that bring the biggest results. It's like I always say, if you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. The secret isn't trying to do everything, but focusing on what's most important. Another crucial point in time management is learning to say no. When you're in a leadership position, many opportunities come your way, but not all of them are worth your time. In the beginning, I wanted to embrace everything, but soon realized that it left me stressed and unproductive. I learned that saying no to certain things is really saying yes to what truly matters. If you spend your time on what's irrelevant, there won't be any energy left for what can truly change your life. Time management is also deeply connected to balancing personal and professional life. Working non-stop might seem productive, but without rest and time to recharge, your efficiency crumbles. I always try to find time to relax, whether it's reading a book or spending time with my family. Taking care of your mental and emotional health is essential to staying focused and productive in the long term. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your business. So think of time as an investment. Every minute you spend should be carefully considered. Prioritize the activities that truly move you toward your goals and have the courage to let go of what doesn't contribute to your growth. Time management, when done right, will ensure that you can achieve your dreams without sacrificing balance in your life. Remember, Success isn't about working more, but about working smarter. Health is fundamental to productivity. No matter how hard you work, if your body and mind are not healthy, your performance will drop. At the beginning of Alibaba, I neglected my health in the name of work, until I realized that it was hindering my decisions and creativity. That's when I began to value healthy habits, understanding that productivity is a direct result of the balance between body and mind. Regular physical exercise has a profound impact on our performance. I, for example, found Tai Chi a way to keep my body moving and my mind focused. In addition, taking care of your mental health is just as important. The constant pressure of work can lead to burnout if not managed well. I've learned to take moments to relax and disconnect, whether by reading or practicing meditation. These breaks invigorate the mind and prepare me to make better and more innovative decisions. A rested mind is better able to solve problems creatively. Taking care of your health, both physical and mental, is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you take the time to look after yourself, you increase your energy and focus, which is directly reflected in your productivity. Throughout my journey, one thing has become clear. Continuous learning is the key to success. Early in Alibaba, I didn't know much about technology or e-commerce, but I never let that limit me. I firmly believe that when you're willing to learn every day, you can overcome any challenge. The world is changing rapidly, and those who don't adapt will be left behind. Keeping an open mind for new knowledge is what separates the successful from those who stagnate. Learning doesn't have to be complicated. You can start with small actions, like reading 10 pages of a book a day or listening to an inspiring podcast. I remember that when we were developing Alibaba, I sought to learn everything I could about the market, competitors, and new technologies. This gave me valuable insights and allowed me to stay ahead. Knowledge opens doors you didn't even know existed. And the more you know, the more prepared you are to seize opportunities. Another important point is that continuous learning isn't limited to technical or professional aspects. Developing emotional and social skills is equally essential. Emotional intelligence, for example, is a skill I've learned to value over time. Knowing how to deal with people, understanding their motivations, and managing conflicts are aspects that, when well developed, can transform the way you lead and make decisions. Learning should be a daily and comprehensive practice. Making learning a way of life ensures that you're always evolving. It's not about knowing everything, but about being willing to keep learning. Reading, taking online courses, or even exchanging ideas with people from different areas keeps your mind sharp and ready for changes. Life never stops transforming, and you shouldn't stop learning either. This is the secret to staying relevant and competitive in the business world. Success is not something you achieve alone. Throughout my journey with Alibaba, I learned that the relationships we cultivate have a profound impact on who we become. The people you surround yourself with shape your ideas, your motivation, and even how you see the world. I've always sought to be around people who challenged me to think differently, who inspired me to be better. A strong support network is one of the greatest sources of growth you can have. In the beginning, Alibaba was just 18 people working out of a small apartment. And the only thing we had in common was our belief in something bigger. Being surrounded by people who shared the same vision and passion was essential to keep us strong during tough times. The friendships and partnerships we cultivated along the way not only strengthened our company, but also strengthened me personally. The mutual support gave us the energy we needed to keep going, even when no one believed in us. Cultivating inspiring relationships goes beyond friends and colleagues. It's about being open to new connections, seeking mentors, and learning from people who've already walked the path you're on. I've learned a lot by observing other entrepreneurs and leaders. absorbing their experiences and ideas. Every conversation, every exchange of ideas is an opportunity for learning and growth. Being willing to listen and learn from others is one of the greatest assets you can have. So, invest time and energy in your relationships. Build strong bonds with people who challenge and uplift you, because those connections are crucial to your success. Whether in your personal or professional life, the power of having people around you who believe in you and motivate you is priceless. When you're surrounded by positivity and inspiration, you become a better version of yourself. Daily reflection is a powerful practice that has shaped my path over the years. When you take time to reflect on your day, your decisions, and your emotions, you gain greater clarity about what's working and what needs to be adjusted. Early in Alibaba, I constantly questioned myself about the decisions I was making because I knew it was the only way to learn from my mistakes. Daily reflection helped me course correct and improve my ability to make smart decisions. Reflection doesn't have to be complicated. Often, just a few minutes of silence at the end of the day are enough to think about what was done, what can be improved, and what truly matters. I've always believed that if you don't reflect on what you're doing, you end up repeating the same mistakes. It's the practice of pausing and thinking that allows you to grow, both personally and professionally. When I look at the most successful days of my life, they were a direct result of moments of reflection and adjustment. Reflecting also helps you stay in control of your emotions. The business world is full of highs and lows, and without reflection, it's easy to be overwhelmed by stress or fear. I always use these moments of introspection to understand my feelings and better handle challenges. This gives me a clearer perspective and helps me make decisions with more calm and focus. True wisdom comes from looking within and finding answers in your own experiences. The daily practice of reflection also helps me keep gratitude alive. When I reflect on what I've accomplished, I realize how far I've come and how much I have to be thankful for. Sometimes we're so focused on our future goals that we forget to appreciate what we've already achieved. These moments of reflection help me maintain a positive and balanced mindset, something essential for long-term success. So, make reflection a part of your day. Whether at night before bed or during a break, take time to think about your progress, your challenges, and what truly matters. It will make a significant difference in how you approach your goals and your journey. In the end, it's this self-awareness that allows for continuous adjustments and constant growth. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices I've learned throughout my journey. Amidst so many responsibilities and challenges, it's easy to lose sight of what we've already accomplished and focus only on what's missing. But by practicing gratitude daily, you completely change your perspective. When I started Alibaba, there were many moments of doubt and frustration, but I always took time to acknowledge what we had already achieved, no matter how small. That gave me the strength to keep going, even on the toughest days. The practice of gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what you already have. By recognizing what's working in your life, you create an abundance mindset. When you focus on the good things, you attract more positivity. I remember telling my team in the early days of Alibaba, we may not have money or technology, but we have each other. And that's already something great. That sense of gratitude brought us closer and kept us resilient in the face of challenges. Gratitude also has a profound impact on your mental health. Instead of focusing on problems, you begin to appreciate the small wins and daily progress. This relieves stress and increases your happiness, which in turn improves your productivity. It's not about ignoring the challenges, but balancing the difficulties with the acknowledgement of achievements. For me, this practice has been an anchor during turbulent times. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. When you're grateful for the people around you, whether colleagues, friends, or family, you build stronger, deeper bonds. In the business world, this is crucial. Thanking your team for their hard work or recognizing a mentor's support creates a culture of respect and collaboration. At Alibaba, I've always made it a point to show my gratitude to those who believed in our vision and helped us grow. So, make gratitude a daily practice. When you wake up or before you go to bed, take a few minutes to reflect on what you already have and the small wins of the day. This simple mindset shift can transform your life, your work, and your relationships. Gratitude not only makes you happier, but also prepares you to achieve even more. One of the keys to achieving success is the ability to regularly review and adjust your goals. When I started Alibaba, I had a clear vision of where I wanted to go. But along the way, many things changed, and I had to adjust the course multiple times. What many don't realize is that setting goals is only the first step. The real secret lies in reviewing them regularly, adapting to new realities and challenges as they arise. Life is dynamic, and your goals need to be too. I always say that the best entrepreneurs are the ones who know how to adapt. It's not about having a perfect plan, but about having the flexibility to adjust it when needed. By regularly reviewing your goals, you ensure that you're on the right path and avoid getting lost in tasks that no longer make sense. Early on in Alibaba, we constantly revised our plans because the technology market was changing rapidly. The ability to adjust our goals allowed us to stay focused without losing sight of the bigger vision. This practice also allows you to celebrate small wins and learn from mistakes. Regularly reviewing your goals gives you the chance to acknowledge the progress you've made, which is essential for keeping motivation high. Moreover, by identifying what didn't work, you have the opportunity to learn and adjust your strategies. This approach kept me resilient, even when things seemed difficult. Every adjustment brought us a little closer to our dream. Another important point is that the goals you set at the beginning may no longer be relevant as time goes on. The market changes, your priorities change, and it's natural for your goals to evolve as well. Reviewing and adjusting your plans isn't a sign of weakness, but of intelligence. When you have the courage to change what isn't working, you open yourself up to new opportunities and paths. So, make goal review a continuous practice. Regularly ask yourself if your goals are still aligned with what you truly want and with changes in your environment. Adjusting your goals is a sign of growth, not failure. It's how you ensure that you're always evolving and moving in the right direction. If there's one thing I've learned along my journey with Alibaba, it's that consistency is the true secret to transformation. In the beginning, we didn't have many resources or support, but we had one thing that set us apart: the will to keep going, day after day, no matter the obstacles. Many people start something with enthusiasm, but quit when the first challenges arise. The real difference between success and failure is the ability to keep going, even when everything seems difficult. Consistency is what turns small daily efforts into great achievements. I always believed that even with just a 1% improvement each day, we were on the right path. When I look back, I see that Alibaba's greatest victories didn't come from one isolated moment of brilliance, but from constant dedication over the years. It's like planting a tree. You don't see immediate growth, but over time, it becomes something strong and grand. Maintaining consistency, however, requires discipline. Many give up because they expect quick results, but real success takes time. I always committed to moving forward even when rewards seemed distant. Believe me, consistency is a skill you can develop, and it will be your greatest asset throughout life. When you persist, opportunities arise in ways you never imagined. This practice also builds resilience. The more you stay firm on your journey, the stronger you become. At Alibaba, we face numerous difficulties, from the lack of investors to technological challenges. But consistency allowed us to learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward, always focused on the bigger goal. Every day you stay on the right path is one less day between you and success. So, if you want to transform your life, your business, or your dreams into reality, make consistency your main habit. It doesn't matter how small your steps are today. What truly matters is that you keep moving forward. Transformation is the result of small actions repeated over time. That's how you get far.